Okay, Professor Bear here. Welcome to Info 7375 Prompt Engineering and Generative AI. This is class one. I'm going to go over basically seeing if you want to take this class or not. Most important thing is if you don't want to be in this class, I don't want you in this class. If you want to be in this class, I want you in this class. Your number one thing for learning is your attitude, that you want to learn this stuff. If you don't, you're paying a lot of money to learn nothing. That's not my issue. I am doing this class for the students who want to learn. If you just want to, follow along and do the assignments and get your grade, but don't really think about it or do it, that's your world. That's your commitment. You're an adult. But I'm going to gear this class for the people who want to learn. So what is this class about? We start with prompt engineering, which is writing text and words to effectively deal with language models. Language models are incredibly important and insanely powerful. How you prompt them, how you tell them to do what you want them to do, has a big, big effect on the output you get back. So the first about 4 weeks of this class, we're going to go over a bunch of heuristics and techniques. And this is called prompt engineering, about how to prompt language models. We're going to use Claude and ChatGPT and Gemini. You can use others if you wish. So got an idea to check things versus each other. So if Claude says something and ChatGPT says something else, and they're completely different, one of the two is wrong. And that's part of what we're going to talk about when we prompt, how to check what you know is right. And a lot of that's your attitude and wanting to care. And we'll talk about that more when we talk about assignments. 20% of a grade in an assignment is a relative grade to the class. I will be doing the assignments in class, and we'll record a little video of me doing your assignments, but I'll do them in a very brief way. I'll basically get you a starter for your assignment. I'll be able to do that in class in 10 to 20 minutes, and we'll record it. But if you turn that in, you'll probably get a B. But it won't be very, very good. The process of AI, dealing with AI, is to try something, to iterate. These tools can get you things that are very good very quickly. But everybody in this class can get something very good and very quickly. So for you to stand out in this class, you're going to need to care about what you do. You're going to have to fact check it. You're going to have to look at it. And I'll go over example after example after example in class and record it and put it on the YouTube of me doing that, just showing. You will learn far more from this class, outside of this class, doing stuff than you hear listening to me talk. I don't want to listen to me talk. I just want to do things. If you want to learn, you learn by doing. If you don't believe that, there are other classes. Do not take this class. If you don't believe you learn by doing, then, it's up to you to take this class. But this class is all about portfolio, learning by doing. The next is we get into some fine tuning. We explain a little bit more technically with an LLM, not as in deep detail, but at a high level. What is a transformer? What is the transformer architecture? How they use? How they work? At a high level, we will have an assignment where we fine tune and configure LLMs. We'll create our own little specialized LLM. And the last half of the class is then using these tools, particularly the prompting, to build an agentic system. So what agentic systems are they're tools that do things for you in the real world. And they're primarily, the decisions are primarily in agentic AI driven by these language models. You prompt a language model to do a bunch of tasks. You verify the task can do that. We won't get into that. You will build at least one agentic system in this class. I'll build an agentic system in class in 10 minutes when we get to agentic systems and record it and put it on YouTube. But in order for that agentic system to be good, you need to refine it, test it, refine it, testing. AI is all about rapid prototyping. If you believe in agile development, if you believe in just constant iteration, AI is the thing for you because that's what it's really good at. quickly prototyping, changing, prototyping, changing, prototyping, changing, prototyping, changing. But if you do not care, then you could get something which is being okay very, very quickly and just say, I'm done. But it won't be very good. And it particularly won't be very good in comparison to what the person next to you is doing. And that person next to you is the one who's going to get the job, the one who cares about what they do. So we'll use the YouTube a lot. This video, which I'm making right now, will be on the YouTube. I'll put things. So the first section of our book, we're going to write a book together on prompt engineering. And we're going to, of course, use prompt engineering to write this book. And so I'll be doing that class. But this is very simple. Prompt engineering is basically a bunch of heuristics. And the heuristics are effective. Because it's simple doesn't mean it's not useful. Prompt engineering is insanely useful, in part because it's so simple. You can get a lot done in a very simple way. But these tricks, these patterns are useful. So this is your toolbox. Your toolbox is knowing, okay, I'm not getting the result from language model that I want in this way. Maybe I should try this way. This is another one of these patterns that we looked at and came up with. These patterns will be on your first exam. The only thing that'll be on your exam is coming from the transcripts on the YouTube. So in your exam, the TAs will write a bot, of course, to look at the transcripts of the YouTube and make an exam from the transcripts of the YouTube. If I don't believe something is important enough to put on the YouTube, then it's probably not important enough to be on your exam. But we'll do that. We'll take the transcripts of the YouTube after they're there, and then we'll use that to make a cheat sheet for the exam using the prompting that we teach. I won't do that until the exam because AI changes so quickly. There may be new things introduced in the next 3 weeks, which we'll probably incorporate in the class. And if it's relevant to you, if somebody comes up with a new prompt pattern, which is insanely useful, then that may end up in the class. But I'll let you know that. Everything that you'll be required, you'll know. There are exams from previous semesters. This course changes very quickly because it's an AI course. And so because it's an AI course, it's just constantly changing. Every semester is changing. And so we adapt to what you do. So this is where we start our first 4 or 5 weeks is in prompt patterns. Again, prompt patterns is not rocket science, but it's really, really useful. The #1 job in the world right now is probably in genetic engineering. And prompt patterns are used in every single field of every type of work. A lot of companies now are doing AI literacy and AI fluency exams. They won't hire you if you can't prompt. They say no, the employees who can prompt are far more effective. They're just better at what they do because they're using the right tool. If I built a house with a, fake hammer or tried to nail small nails with a sledgehammer, I would not be very effective. You need to use the right tools. And so most companies realize that their employees are far more effective if they're literate and, more importantly, fluent in AI. This is all about AI fluency. This course is about getting really good with the language models for the first 4 or 5 weeks. Then a little bit more detail exactly what these language models are, how do they work. You're going to build your own little fine-tune model. And then the last part of the class is agentic AI. So that's probably it for my intro. I'm going to make a lot of short videos. So if somebody has a question, today will be the first day of class, in class, and it's not answered in this video, then I'll make another little 5-minute video that'll follow up this video. And then, but again, this is going to go on the YouTube and the GitHub and the YouTube. In fact, what I'm likely to start doing, which I haven't done before, is when you do an assignment. So this is my doing of the assignment. We're going to critique my doing of your first assignment and make it better. It can always be better. Always be better. And then we'll do this in class. So I'll show you how to do it. This is what a TA did. This was done in Gamma. I think this was done in Gamma in about 3 seconds. It doesn't, to me, look very good. And I don't think it's that just like, what does this image have to do with this at all? But you may disagree with me. But I don't think, my bet is the TA just posted something in Gamma, generated whatever, came out of Gamma, and put that up here. And this is pretty much what it looks like if you do that. Just, meh. Okay. And so, and this would not get a good score. It would be like an 80 out of 100. If you want to get an 80 out of 100, this is also the class for you. Because you can pass this class doing very little work. That's not going to help you in your life, but I'll get paid the same either way. I teach this class for people who care. And you will not do as well as the people who care. They're the ones who are going to get the A's and the A minuses. But more importantly, they're the ones who are going to get the jobs. Because they'll have a portfolio, they'll know what they're doing because they spent time doing it. So this is an example of not particularly good work. Because again, AI was just used for this. My bet is this took 10 seconds to do. And it's just sort of And the whole process of AI is iteration. Refine, 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 refine until it's awesome. Okay, so because this is also on YouTube, I'm going to do the like, subscribe thing because anybody can watch this. But this is primarily for Info 7375 students, prompt engineering, and generative AI. So the next video will probably come today because we have our first class today. But this will be the very first video. Take care.